Hello, I'm Annette Young and welcome to the 51%, a show about women reshaping our world. Coming up, a special report here in France on the con artists who prey on women suffering from endometriosis, a painful disease that affects millions and can sometimes lead to fertility problems. Also, the Spanish government seeks to increase the number of mixed-gender prisons with the aim of helping prisoners to get used to being in a society where women and men coexist. And the Italian blockbuster movie with a distinct feminist message. And no, it's not Barbie. There's Still Tomorrow is now being released in cinemas across the globe. But first, endometriosis is a chronic disease which affects 1 in 10 women. It can cause severe menstrual pain and complications with becoming pregnant. There's no cure, leading some women to turn to alternative medicine, which sometimes unwittingly leads them to seek help from con artists, as our colleagues at France 2 Television found out.
This woman is exhausted. Her periods are extremely painful and she suffers from vomiting and other discomfort, all symptoms of endometriosis. She's seen gynecologists at private clinics and in hospitals, but nothing has worked. So she turned to alternative medicine. One day, she went to see a naturopath.
She didn't know the first thing about endometriosis. She instructed me to fast during winter, telling me I'd get my energy back and that all would be better. But that's not at all what happened. After 4 weeks, I'd lost 4 kilos.
Disappointed with that experience, she joined an online hypnosis group run by a woman who called herself a healer.
One day she said to me, "A spot's opened up. My divine presence has chosen you." She began by proposing group sessions. There was a woman who had cancer, one with vaginismus. It was complete nonsense.
Each consultation cost €60. It did nothing to relieve the pain, but Marie-Jeanne realized that she'd been completely sucked in by this so-called healer.
I'm the one who can heal you. Just follow everything I tell you. She said she'd been given the power to heal women.
Today, she still hasn't found a way to ease the pain. Priscilla Sarocco knows about all these supposed remedies. She runs an association for women suffering from endometriosis and receives around 100 proposals every year.
It reads, "I'd like to offer my energy therapy to your members. I've been offering this type of care for several years in an informal setting. Of course, we refuse this type of proposal. We have no idea where the therapist has gotten their methods or ideas. We have no way of knowing whether or not it works."
A team of journalists met the man behind this email with a hidden camera. One of them says she suffers from endometriosis. The man presents himself as a magnetist. He says he's already cured one woman using energy treatment. He explains his method. He offers to begin treatment next session, which, he makes clear, will have to be paid. We spoke to a doctor specializing in endometriosis.
It's quackery. There's no proof that it works or that it's a part of a treatment adapted to patients with endometriosis. None whatsoever.
To date, there is no cure for endometriosis. Doctors here in France usually prescribe the pill. When this doesn't work, health officials recommend just 3 alternatives: yoga, acupuncture, or osteopathy.
Now, often seen as a guiding light when it comes to women's rights, Spain is possibly setting an example for the rest of Europe when it comes to mixed-gender prisons. The country has been experimenting with blocks housing both male and female inmates for the last 2 decades. The aim is to better prepare them to reintegrate into society, as this report reveals.
living in cells within the same hallway. In this wing of the Tech Zero prison, male and female inmates eat and work together, sharing daily activities such as exercise and group therapy. The aim to better prepare prisoners to reintegrate into society.
If we want to prepare a person so that when they are released, they don't commit a crime again, and they respect certain rules, then we should educate them in an environment that resembles the world outside prison.
Ambra enjoys playing football with her male inmates, though she says men sometimes misinterpret her.
I greet everyone. I give them a small smile. But the moment they misinterpret my greeting, for example, if I'm nice to someone and they think that I want to hook up with them, then I put my barrier up and I say stop.
All prisoners have volunteered to be here, chosen based on their behaviour. Inmates with convictions for sexual violence are barred, and the prison offers workshops on deconstructing masculinity. This is just one of 20 similar mixed-gender prison blocks across Spain. Socialist Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's government has encouraged the country's prison system to further develop the model.
To Brazil now, and in the Amazon, a group of Indigenous women have brought a tiny tribe back from the brink of extinction. The Juma people were threatened to be wiped out after the death of their chief, but his 3 daughters have taken over and ensured the survival of their traditions.
In the heart of the Amazon, the very presence of this village is already a victory. Here in Canutama, 3 indigenous sisters are fighting for the survival of their people, the Juma. Mande has been the leader of the tribe for several years. She's the first woman to hold such a position in this part of the Amazon.
There had never been a female chief before, so people came to me and said, "You shouldn't do this, because you're a woman." People also told me that I didn't have the strength, and that I didn't have the right.
Along with her sisters, Mande strives to keep her culture alive and pass on the traditions of her people who've been on the brink of extinction since her father died from COVID in 2021. Amoe Maruka was the last male representative of the Juma whose population plummeted dramatically during the 20th century. The former chief fiercely defended his people's rights and the preservation of the Amazon rainforest. He fought to obtain official status for the Juma territory as indigenous land, which guarantees its protection. That fight has now fallen to his daughter, and every day she comes face to face with the damage done by global warming and deforestation.
It's a lot warmer now. It wasn't like that before. When we pass an area that's recently been cleared of trees, we are saddened. Trees have the same life as people. Cutting them down, it's like killing people. When we're on our land, it's as if we can breathe more freely. Our territory gives us strength.
A strength that Mande and her sisters are trying to keep alive among the 24 remaining inhabitants of the village, in the hope that they will not be the last of the Juma.
So, what was the most popular film with feminist undertones in Italy in 2023? No, it wasn't Barbie. There's Still Tomorrow is a feminist black and white movie about the plight of an abused housewife set in post-war Italy. It landed the #1 spot and is now being released across the world.
A simple yet impactful story. It's about the life of a housewife in a working-class neighbourhood of Rome. A submissive mother at the mercy of a violent husband. The black and white movie addresses domestic violence in post-war Italy. C'è ancora domani, translated as There is still tomorrow, has become one of the greatest successes in Italian cinema. With over 5 million admissions and 3 months after its release, many are still pouring in to watch it.
I'm a grandmother of 8 grandchildren, and I sent them all to see it.
I think it should be screened in every school to encourage a deeper discussion about it.
Some viewers came for the second time.
This time I'm taking my mum. She's lived through that period.
With its dark humour and light tones, the film not only depicts the male domination at the time, it's also an eye-opener for today's society. Last autumn, fiction suddenly got struck by reality. Italy was shaken by the death of a 22-year-old student killed by her boyfriend of the same age. On the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, scenes from the film were brandished. Protesters thanked Paola Cortellesi, the lead actress turned director, for speaking out against femicides. The movie was also screened in the Senate. There's Still Tomorrow has become a symbol in the fight against patriarchy.
And if by chance physical violence hasn't directly affected us, everyone's perceived this violence at least once. In words, in behaviours, in degrading comments at school, at home, at work. We convince ourselves that that's the way it is, as if nothing's happened.
The film is due to be released internationally in spring, kicking off with France and the Netherlands in March, just a few days after International Women's Day.
And that's it for now, and we'd love to hear from you, so do reach out to us via Facebook, Instagram or X, of course, formerly known as Twitter. So until our next show, bye for now.